this is awesome.
Isn't that a great tool? I tell you, it makes your weeding just go so fast.
Oh, I can't believe
So
it.
where do you get
Never sink farm tools.
Never?
Yeah, never sink. Like, never sink is it.
Okay.
S-I-N-K.
We'll have to have you write it on your back of your card. I'll go over
I thought
there.
you were going to say the back of my head or something.
Well, my number's on there. Text me.
Okay.
I'll just send you the link.
Yeah, it's so nice, you know, and again, you can use it for grading. It just, man, makes your work so cool. You know?
Yeah. That's great.
And you know, and the thing, like you stay on top of when they're little, it's so much easier than when they get big and you have all this mass to get out of there. You know, so
And you waste your dirt.
yeah, and again, it's just convenient. It's convenient.
Well, they say, like with the thistles, if you keep them cut, it'll finally kill them because they get the roots aren't fed.
Yeah.
But I just can't keep.
Well, do you remember when I came here? My whole field was full of thistles.
Right,
Look out there now.
right.
There's not
I
one.
know.
That must take
But I was,
forever.
but I'll tell you what it was. It's called tenacious diligence. I went out there with my 4-inch shovel and I dug those things out every time I saw them. If it flowered, I couldn't get it. I chopped it off at the base, you know. And I just was consistent. I just I'm not going to put up with you. You're not going to be here, you know. And I'm thinking, man, there's not a thistle in the whole field. It's awesome.
I believe it.
Well, if they were there, you'd see them. They're pretty visible.
Well, yeah, when you clear a spot, thistles come up.
I know. All these.
I think the difference at our place is that sand and those thistle roots can
Go
go
forever.
6-8 feet
Yeah.
down, and you just can't get them out. I mean, I've dug and
Yeah.
dug and dug.
Yeah,
And spray.
this is a heavy clay.
Oh.
It's a pretty heavy clay, so they don't get that deep.
Yeah.
So you planted these carrots in the spring.
In April.
In April, and then you plant again in August.
Or no, yeah, probably 1st of August. Yeah, for winter crop. Because you want your stuff to get full size. See, it's not going to grow during the winter, but it'll get to be full size and it stays in the ground live. And actually, when the ground freezes, they get much sweeter. The sweetness.
Really?
Oh, I'm telling you, the freeze.
This is delicious.
No, it's superior in the winter. Amazing difference.
Just like that.
Dirt don't hurt. Eat it.
It's not even dirt. Those are wood chips.
Good for you.
It's called minerals. You're taking away minerals from yourself.
Stop it! Stop it! I can't help it.
Microbiome.
You know,
is good
listen.
for your gut.
My wife, Carol's a midwife, and one of her clients is bringing her. Says, I can't keep my kid from eating dirt, and Carol says he needs minerals. He's missing, and he knows where to get them. The kid's eating dirt because he needs minerals
That's delicious.
because he's not getting it in his food.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We were kids. We were always out in the dirt eating it. You know,
We
it's
were
just
always in the dirt. I didn't
you
know.
know, but it got in your mouth. I mean, if you're, you know, it's just
Yeah, your hands are dirty.
you're everything. And you're just eating.
Well, yeah, washing your hands wasn't
Yeah.
on the
Well,
table.
Not only that whole antibacterial crap. You know how many diseases we didn't get because our hands were always dirty?
Yeah,
Got it.
it's just again, it's just
I
know.
did that, I'm sorry.
This sterile mentality is just it's unhealthy.
Yep. Yep.
So you can't eat carrot tops?
You can.
What do you do with them?
They're
Well,
just tough.
Put
They're
in
good
salad?
juiced. If you juice them.
If you're hungry, you eat everything.
Yeah. Graze.
Hmm?
Come out and graze. If you're
Well, like
hungry.
beet
Well,
tops.
he's like, eat
Those
the whole
taste
plant.
Beet tops taste
Well, everything in nature does, you know.
Except rhubarb leaves. You're not supposed to eat them.
Yeah, those are. It's interesting how the animals know it. Like, those chickens aren't going to eat that rhubarb.
Yeah.
They won't touch it. They know.
That is.
Springtime,
That's God.
nothing to
That
do.
is totally
There's no other explanation. I love.
Locked in your
I tell people God is so fun to work with.
Let's
Oh
make
my
it.
God.
God is fun to work with.
The shelves are empty
He's awesome.
at the grocery store.
There was
remember
that, yeah.
And everybody was buying chickens. Everybody was buying, you know, hey, we're gonna
A
have to
lot
start
of people
growing
have
our
wanted
food.
to buy chickens anyway because of the
Yeah.
egg industry. But
Right.
like in Issaquah, you can only have 4
Mm,
inside city limits. You can't have a rooster,
right.
but you can have 4 hens. But my HOA.
Tell them what you did.
Right.
Well, my town, I grew up in a little redneck town in Maryland,
Mhm.
and like the town, over 100 years ago was based on their poultry industry, and there was no regulation saying I couldn't have chickens, and so I got myself some chickens, and I had 4 of them, and then some dude had like 20 of them in city limits, and he didn't like his neighbor, and his neighbor didn't like him, so they just went back and forth, kept complaining. Then the town council stepped in and sent everybody in town a letter. They had no idea I had chickens.
Right.
And saying, if you have chickens, you'll be fined $1,000 per day per violation until you get rid of them. And I was like, no, wait a second. You can't. I had read every ordinance in the thing before I got my chickens.
Right.
And I was 15. And so they sent that, and I was like, no. Like, you can't do that. There's nothing saying I can't have my chickens. And I loved my chickens. They were my 4 little pets. And so I ran a petition. It was the month before my senior... No, when was that? I don't know. I ran a petition before school started. Hit every door in the town's limits. Got a couple hundred signatures on the one on paper. And then I did an online petition. Got over a couple thousand. And then was at every single town meeting for over a year. And it was me against the whole town council and their 2 attorneys. And I had the governor of Maryland came out to support me. I had, at the time, I was the president of the county FFA chapter, and I was really good friends with the entire state FFA chapter, or advisors and everybody.
And he's 15.
And they all came out and supported me, and like I fought the entire town for a year, every single Monday, or every first Monday of the month, and I won.
And that was all because some guy had 20 chickens.
Yeah, this is because it's poorly managed, and they had no idea I had them. I probably could have kept keeping them, but I don't. I put my foot down.
That is a
but
problem when people
funny,
poorly manage it, because a friend of mine's name, they put up a chicken house, and my friend had lived there for over 20 years, and they've never had a rodent problem.
Yeah,
and
but
all
when
of
you
a sudden
put
they
up a
had
bad
a
one.
big rat problem.
It's all about maintenance.
Yeah, because somebody didn't know what the heck they were doing.
Yep.
Clean, yeah.
So what's the funny thing about the story is I fought for a year, won, made up this whole long ordinance just to make them happy, and after all that, then they're like, well, your property still doesn't qualify to have chickens. I'm like, yeah, okay, not after all that. Like, mine's going to be grandfathered in, I don't care. So anyways, I got to keep my chickens, and then a month after it passed, I moved. So I was just like, fine, and then I got...
but the next guy got to keep his
yeah,
chickens.
now everybody in town, because of me, is legally allowed to have chickens. And it's the funniest thing. I had people,
HOAs are a little different.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like when I was president of the HOA, I got calls from a lady that said the next door neighbor has chickens and it's attracting this coyote, and I have little kids, and like there's rabbits everywhere, So I just sent out a notice: you're not allowed to have chickens.
Yeah, it's different
That's
with
as far
an
as I was
HOA,
willing to go.
Yeah, don't live there.
Yeah, but it was...
Cougars before we had chickens.
We've got a bobcat
Yeah,
in our
that's
neighborhood.
true.
We got a bobcat, we got
Yep.
some coyotes, and a bazillion rabbits.
Us too.
So,
Yeah, the
I mean,
cat comes in with rabbits all the time.
that's when
Yeah.
the cat does not go out in the backyard. Without
And the dog goes out and takes them away from him. And
Yeah, it eats them.
oh,
good
So my
for 'em.
dog came back up to me with a rabbit one day, a small rabbit.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it. Killed it. So I picked it up, and I put it on top of my car so the dog couldn't get to it, and I kind of forgot about it.
Oh.
And I forgot. I went somewhere in my car, and I thought, holy crap,
Yeah,
I was probably
rabbit on
driving
your
down
roof.
Highway 900 and somebody behind me got an ugly surprise.
There's a rabbit on the windshield.
Wow. What is that?
That's funny.
well, I really appreciate you putting all this out there for us to learn from.
You're welcome.
It's my first year, so my expectations are kind of low, but I'm going to keep working on it.
Well, again, it's just the thing. You'll see every year gets better. And you always are learning. And here, your mistakes are a good learning experience. You won't do that again.
Right, right.
And so it's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put about 12 to 14 inches of chips on the garden. That didn't work out so well.
That's a lot.
That's a lot when you're trying to get down to the
Soil.
soil.
It was not
Look at
really.
nature. Not really any... Like, in an orchard, it's okay if you're just trying to build your soil
Yeah.
really quick, but nowhere in nature does that much of any
It's
orchard
just always
ever
thin.
hit the ground. It's always a thin layer over time.
Right.
So
Yep.
just keep that
Continuous,
in mind. Build a lasagna throughout
So
the
it'll
summer.
just take time.
Put a thin layer of wood chips in the fall. In the summer, when you cut your grass, rake all your grass clippings or bag it if your lawnmower does that. Put that on the garden. That's your summer ground cover. In the fall, put chips, and then you're balancing the nitrogen and carbon ratio. And it's
So
just
now
really
that I
awesome.
put my 4 inches, I don't have to do that again. I can just do smaller amounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't ever. Yeah, you're just trying to build your soil really quick. But your soil's probably hungry, so 4 inches isn't gonna last for a year.
It'll
I
bring-
noticed that the first batch that I put on kind of
It
settles,
really
yeah.
quickly.
yeah.
4 inches fresh.
And
settles
when I
about 2
go
inches.
down into it, I can see dirt already.
Yeah.
Like it's turning to dirt really
And
fast.
and the dirt's nice. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
this is it's changing. It's really cool.
Yeah, but it's not 4 inches down where I put
No.
it. It's an inch and a half
Yeah.
down. There's dirt. So
Yeah, compost is an amazing principle. It's awesome.
So would you use leaves in the fall or?
Leaves, if you want worms, nothing will bring worms in more than leaves. Leaves are amazing for bringing worm population. It's huge.
But look around here. You're not gonna get many leaves. You get the apples, and they
Yeah.
just blow away.
If you
but we got a maple.
if
so
you got
I can put that in my
the
garden.
those maple leaves
Deciduous,
are
leaves
really good.
Are incredible. You don't get. I mean, worms are just one thing, but then you've got all the stuff that you can't even see with your naked eye
Yeah.
that comes in because of the leaves.
Well, I noticed when I was
So
that,
that's good for, fall
Yeah.
compost too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that wood
for sure.
pile that sat. As I was digging it, first of all, it was hot by the time I was really getting into the center of it, and it's
Steam.
cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
steaming. I couldn't tell if it was smoke. I thought, is this thing gonna catch on
no, just compost, man. It gets hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the leaves had a lot of activity going on with them. So this was somebody took down a maple in their yard.
Cool.
So it was like beautiful chipped maple.
Swipe through this. This was a garden, the first year garden back in Maryland.
I
Where
can't see anything.
okay, you can't see it.
You
Can't
want my
see anything.
okay.
reader
Oh.
sunglasses?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah, I can-
you just swipe through it, and that's all within a year, not even a full year. And you can see the
Oh
progress.
yeah, look at that. Yeah, I'm not gonna get this. But you know what? I'm just gonna
Good.
keep working at it until I get it.
You know what? You will get it.
Eventually.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
That's right.
Eventually, I will get it. I'll keep plugging away. I mean, last year I planted a few things, and I was pleasantly surprised. The sugar snap peas were amazing. But I'm the one that wrote to you about the raised garden, the
Okay.
raised beds. And so I had a plan to put big raised beds out there until you blew that out of the water.
Well, see, raised beds, because they're above grade, the air totally sucks all the water out. You got to water like crazy, man.
Yeah.
It takes so much watering.
So now I have to do it on the ground.
Well, it's just
Build it up.
raise the grade.
Yeah.
What happens if your ground, like, okay, so I was talking to you about building in Hawaii. I mean, because that's lava rock under there. It's
Rock
so
bottom is the best foundation to
yeah,
build
but
up on.
it's so porous, isn't it? Isn't the
was
water
talking
gonna
about
just
that.
go right out the bottom?
It's good.
No.
Lava rock is incredible. Like, if I could get lava rock here, I'd be throwing lava rock gravel down.
But that's
'cause it's
lava
so
rock
big.
gravel. This is actual
It's still good.
flowed
Still
lava.
good.
It's okay.
Yeah, still
It's not
good.
gonna drain out on me.
No, you'll be
All
fine.
right.
You'll be
Not
good.
that Kona get that.
Lava rock being
Kona
so
doesn't get much
porous,
water.
it's like a hotel for microbiology.
Oh really?
So all of your bacteria and stuff colonize in all of those pores, and they'll close it up, and they'll be living in there, and then they'll go into your soil, and slowly, like, the bacteria release acids that break down your lava rock, and they just make it even better and turn that into soil, which is just pure minerals. And so, yeah, lava rock's incredible.
Well, you know what's interesting about how we take rocks out of our gardens? You ever drive along the mountain passes and you look along the road at these bright green fir, pine, hemlock growing out of solid rock? Excuse me. And we're taking rocks out of rocks are minerals. Duh. It's just so bizarre how we just don't think.
No, I was just concerned about water holding in there. Right.
Well, you know how the Creator maintains water on rock surfaces in the mountains? He uses slow drip irrigation called snow. I love that. It's slow drip irrigation. That's what snow is. It's so awesome. What a great design.
Never thought of that.
Can I go back to the drip irrigation? You
Yeah.
briefly you don't like it? Or
No.
how come?
Because it doesn't get the whole root mass. You see, you have a emitter right here, and the roots way out over there doesn't get water, so it doesn't cover the whole space.
So how do you water in the spring?
In the spring, overhead.
Overhead. How does God water everything? Rain.
Okay.
Overhead.
Just overhead. And if you do it in the sun, it's not going to hurt the plant. I'm always concerned about the sun.
Excuse me.
It's not. You saw me watering in full sun. I did that.
didn't, but
Oh,
okay.
you didn't see it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
happening.
when the tour started, I had the sprinkler going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
So it doesn't burn the plants?
Not
or
at
anything?
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, if I didn't do that, all my lettuce would bolt. So that water hitting the leaves like that cooled it instantly, and the plant was like, okay, I can make it a few more hours until the sun goes down.
Well, that's all I have for this video. Bang around that bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos come out. Call us on the hotline if you have comments or questions and want to be featured in an upcoming video. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Check us out on the website, and we'll see you guys on the next one.